Hello everyone. In this video I will be doing a quick tutorial on how to use the stamp tool on Bluebeam Revu. The first portion of the video will show you how to use the stamp tool. The second portion will show you how to create your own stamp. One of the most common uses for the stamp tool is during the submittal process. So here I have a sample submittal that I will use for the purposes of this video. To use the stamp tool, you simply click on the stamp icon, which will give you a drop down of available stamps. Most of the stamps shown here are preloaded with Bluebeam, but you can see that two of these stamps have the ARQ prefix. That is because these stamps are stamps that are previously created for use on submittals. So I'm going to start off by placing one of these stamps in the Architect stamp box. So I select my stamp and then I place it where I want it to. It's going to be centered on the location. So if it's a big box, you want to place the middle of that selection. So let's go back and do that again. Back, select the stamp tool, select the stamp that I'm trying to place, and then based on the center point, I'm going to select where I want this stamp to go. So this one I'm putting in the engineer box. One other thing that I should note is that sometimes it's too easy to move these stamps around once you've placed them. I'll spend a lot of time placing these right in the correct spot, and then I'll accidentally move it around when I don't want it to move around. One way to counteract this is by locking these stamps in place. You can do that by right-clicking on the stamp and then hit the lock feature, and that will lock that in place and won't allow it to move around. Let's do that again. Right click, lock, and it's locked. Now I'm going to walk you through the steps of how you go about creating your own stamp. First thing that we need is content that we want to show on a stamp, right? Something that we want that's going to be repeated over and over again. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to draw a simple X that I use on my submittal stamps. So the first thing I do is I use the line tool to create an X that's the proper size for this. I go ahead and copy it, so let me copy that, and I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. Obviously you can use Control-C, but what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and show you the actual steps so you can see it on the video. Once I have that copied to my clipboard, I then go back to the stamp tool and I go to create stamp. What happens now is that we have a new dialog box that's created for us. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the name of this to be the name of the stamp that I'm creating, so it's going to be Submittal X. Then the other settings you can pretty much leave as is. Opacity you can play with if you want to, but size we can change that later. I hit OK, and what happens now is I have my new stamp PDF is being created. I paste the X that I had in my clipboard. I now select the X and want to move it to the corner as much as possible. I want to make the stamp as small as possible. So I want to put that in the corner, and then I'm going to go and drag the size of the stamp. This is essentially the crop boundaries for the stamp. So once I'm happy with how, the size of the stamp, I can just go ahead and now save the stamp, and that's going to go ahead and create that stamp. So let's hit save. And now if I go back to my stamp icon, you'll see that it has now been added as a stamp. So there we go. Now I go back to my original document. I delete the lines that I'd drawn before, and now I'm going to go back to my stamp tool and hit Submittal X, and then place that stamp where I want to. So there's one. Let's say I wanted to put that again because it's a stamp. It's so easy to do it. Hit it, click on Submittal X again, and I'll have it placed there. And again, if you want to, you can lock this in its location. Same thing that we talked about before. But that essentially is how you work with stamps, how you create new stamps. If you guys have any questions about this or anything else, please go ahead and create a ticket, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you.